into the temple. As I was saying, let's make each moment here as awesome as possible. You get to choose how much strength this has for you. What's the impact of each idea? How focused or powerful do you feel in each breath? Make it precious and special for you. All right, and we're going to just start with setting some intention. My intention is for this to be awesome for you. I want you to have insights that rock your world, that rock your foundation of how you think about yourself, and that forever you have peace accessible. That anytime you see a habit or a feeling in yourself, you just see, oh, that's just a habit or a feeling. That's not me. Always completely free. You can just step out of anything and choose who you want to be. That's my intention for today. And that from that freedom, you practice massive happiness and joy and compassion. You get better at anything and everything you're working on, and you spread that joy and happiness to others. That's my intention for you. I want you just to take a few breaths and set your own intention. All right. So we're going to begin with an opening meditation. Let's jump right in. And yes.
Before we start, Neo, I had an idea about how to possibly improve the environment. So I remember that behind that podium there is a media player.
Yep.
And I thought that it might be beneficial if we play some music that would be helpful to get us in the right mindset. Would you be opposed to that?
Do you have the URL ready?
I do.
All right. You can put that in. I'm going to grab a seat while you set that up.
It's still locked for me. You need to unlock it.
There you go.
There we go.
All right. So let's just let that music setup happen. Magnificent will jump into the meditation with all of their focus and depth of meditation when they're ready.
Well, that's rather curious. It doesn't seem to be responding to me trying to enter it, so I guess
either.
We'll be doing this.
Yeah, let's try and set it up for next time.
Vanilla way.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thanks for the floating laughter, Pops. Always love these VR emojis. All right. So let's dive into our meditation. I invite everyone to close your eyes. Just feel your eyelids relaxing. Take a few breaths and you just feel your eyes relaxing. And then take a few even deeper breaths and feel your shoulders relaxing. And your arms and your legs. Take a few of the deepest breaths you can and just feel your whole body. And as your body becomes peace, your feelings and your mind also become peace. If you're already in meditation, let these new words just take you in deeper. And if you've just arrived, notice your state of mind right now. And then imagine if you completely shifted gears, your inner voice became perfect tranquility, your body, total relaxation, your state of consciousness, somehow single-pointed and powerful, and at the same time massive and expansive. So we'll just take 10 deep breaths while we let ourselves imagine that and notice it happen more, and we can feel it more, notice it happening even more. Deep meditative breaths. And if you've just tuned in, play the little game with yourself. How powerfully could you imagine perfect peace and stillness? Just watch yourself dive into that as massively and beautifully and easily as you can imagine. Everyone take a few more deep breaths and let your mind scan across your body with the idea of perfect stillness. Everything in your body is just becoming calm. As we step out of the outside world and step into our inner power. And when you imagine your body perfectly still, imagine your mind perfectly still. Notice that you are learning how to navigate your consciousness. Where your attention goes, the things you imagine, the ideas that carry you away, the anchor of the breath that causes stillness. And I invite you to remember those key moments from today's meditation. Maybe there was this wave of wow, or maybe it was just real peace. Maybe you can remember the most beautiful states of consciousness that you've ever cultivated. And for some of you, with that idea, there's moments where you remember it and feel it. Wow. And then your mind does its thing again. And for some of you, you remember it and feel it, and your attention goes into it, and you feel it more deeply. You magnify it, you become it. You rest in those beautiful feelings as they grow and grow. And my wish for all of us is that in every moment of our meditation, and every moment of our life, we have learned to notice our attention, and we craft it into ways that feel powerful and beautiful and easeful. That we practice and craft the attitudes and the feelings that are most real and most empowering. So let's all take a couple of strong breaths. I want you to feel yourself being energized, your imagination getting activated, your positivity and hope is growing. As you start to program your brain, as you imagine yourself feeling empowered, in every moment you can take empowering breaths. Every bit of your brain realizing that it can choose what state to be in. Envisaging your most happy, empowered, peaceful, easeful, gracious self. Training yourself as a consciousness superstar, fully grounded in reality, perfectly accepting things as they are, and then masterfully cultivating yourself to be strong, kind, wise. Next, we're going to go deeper into meditation. We're going to leave our thoughts and mental activity behind and go to a place that's more free, where you've tapped into your inner wisdom, where you tap into the best part of you. And to do this, we're going to take our attention onto our breath. We're going to let our mind settle. Just imagine all your brain activity is going to have a rest. And to do this, we're going to feel our breath coming in and out of our nose. We're going to hear the breath. You can see the breath flowing in and out of the nose. Maybe you see the flowing air. Maybe you see the ripples in the air as it rolls into the nose. You can feel the cool air in and the warm air out. As you let all of your consciousness rest by bringing all of your attention into your breath right now, fully now. Notice your consciousness right now, and imagine all of that having a rest as you go even deeper, purely into beautiful concentration, powerful concentration, easeful concentration, immersion in the breath. learning how to guide your attention just going more deeply into the breath and into a profound state of consciousness. The beautiful peace and tranquility. If you notice something's arisen in your mind other than the breath, imagine you're letting go of it completely, perfectly, going into an even deeper stillness. Notice your consciousness now, and we'll go for one more deep dive, even deeper into stillness. And then imagine if every moment of your day, your consciousness felt this spacious ease. As we begin to wrap up this meditation, I want you to practice bringing this awesomeness into each moment of your life. The awareness that you've just cultivated, feel it. Imagine if you had that in every moment, how you'd remind yourself to carry that at all times. What a relief it would be to just let go of anything that's not awesome. Just breathe back into this peace and power inside you. When I think of that, I think of how quickly we can notice and come back into it. And it makes me want to set the intention for all of us that we practice coming back into pure awareness as fast as we can, as powerfully and as completely and as quickly as we can. In each moment, and especially every moment we notice that we've stepped out of this awareness. Now I want you to imagine if I was going to say something really special that's just for you. Your brain can imagine the best teacher for you. What idea or feeling would be awesome, insightful, and transformative for you right now? And what would it be like to take that insight or important knowledge or transformation? What would it be like to take it and internalize it, to become it? Then shift the speed of your breathing. Maybe make it more empowering or energizing. Maybe make it the feeling of changing states of consciousness. As you start to wrap up the meditation, just let yourself remember how you learned to guide your mind. Remember the most beautiful feelings. Remember any insights or transformations that you had. Just revisit, reaffirm this whole experience. And as we're ending the meditation, just letting yourself take those positive ideas or transformations, maybe say them to yourself or imagine them or think them. You might want to start stretching your body. You might want to notice how your mind shifts gears. You might want to notice when you decide to move or what you start to think about. Keep practicing being aware of your consciousness as you come out of the meditation. Take your time and just bring that awesomeness with you. And like so often after our meditations, I'm going to invite anyone, if you want to share a nice feeling that you had or something you realized or anything you want to share from the meditation. You could think if there's anything you'd like to share. If anyone has anything you'd like to share, now could be a good time.
I arrived late. I missed 99% of the meditation, but the little bit that I heard at the end reaffirmed the what do you call it? Reaffirmed the purpose of meditating, like to bring yourself into the calmness and that, like the refocusing part.
Wonderful.
I tried to meditate on my own for the first time, and I found myself wondering some of the things I couldn't remember, and I think that was part of it, like the purpose of it. Kind of reaffirmed the little bit I caught at the end. Reaffirmed the point that I was trying to remember when I was doing it. Like, what was the point of this? And it was to bring that, to be able to come back to the calmness and stillness in your daily life as well.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. Tapping into that stillness is one of the foundations that I love about meditation. I hope that you're also noticing more of your mind, like you feel like you're learning to just see your mind more. You know, like a little toddler, when they're learning how to use their body, they watch their body, and while they're watching, they learn how to control it. So when we learn how to watch our mind, we learn how to steer it. We learn how to use it better. So that stillness combined with that consciousness really helps us wake up, get out of all the things we're tangled up in, and choose how we want to be. And
then I also feel like thinking about that as well, it made me realize that in my actual life, as I come here more often, I feel like I'm getting more, I'm handling things better in my life, I feel like, and I'm able to stay calm in the bad situations, etc. I'm starting to really recognize that as well, that I'm starting to notice a change in myself.
That's
something else I thought about.
That's great. So good to hear. Thanks for sharing it. Actually, you know, this time after meditation, when I ask people to share, hearing affirmations about the positive impact of meditation like that, like, I guess that's one of the real reasons I like to have these sharing moments, is for us to all like know that meditation changes our lives. So thank you so much.
Difference for me and many others, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering about the last session when I seen you. There were so many people here, and you talked to so many people. I figured you must have been so tired at the end of that session last week.
Actually, the more people that are here, the more invigorated I feel, the more purpose I feel.
I just thought you must have worked so hard that day.
It's not work for me. It's I just love it. Yeah, it's what I'm born to do. In fact, I hope every one of us cultivates an attitude that whenever we're thinking about spreading love or spreading positivity or spreading peace, it just fills us up with more love and more positivity and more peace. If you think about it, or at least to me, that is one of the things the world needs most. And so the attitude of just bringing that to the world, if we can do that in a way that makes us feel great, the better that is for everybody. Would you say, Sigma?
Everyone benefits in the situation.
Absolutely. There's a festival in Australia that I used to go to, and I would set up a big tent. There was space for about 100 people, and I would schedule workshops throughout the day, so like 16 hours of 1 hour workshops. And a lot of them were full. Sometimes like the 7 a.m. breathing meditation might have had 5 people, but then some mornings it had 50. But yeah, throughout the day it was just non-stop. And then at the end of the day, I was just on fire. I'd run around and laugh and dance with people for an hour or two, and then go out of sleeping meditation and go to sleep, and then wake up and do it again. And like a week of that, and I was just more and more invigorated and blissful the whole week. And then the month following that, I was like this enlightened being of joy just floating around. So yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And why am I saying this is, yes, I want you to feel that like I do love it. So please bring your friends and it's awesome. But also I want that to rub off on all of us. If every one of us feels invigorated, talking about awareness, spreading good vibes, like you said, everybody wins. Yeah, I want that attitude to rub off on all of us.
For it being my
Wow,
first
yeah, you've
time,
done
I actually...
Yeah, Thorn, your turn.
For it being my first time, I did medication back then. I did it for a year because I was going through a tragic loss. It made me think about a lot of my past and all the things I did well. And it opened up my mind to a lot more things I would have done better, or that I could have done better. But I realistically see more peace, inner peace, and more with my body, with my mind, a lot more throughout this meditation process.
I'm really glad you're here and thanks for sharing. I hope for any of us, if we ever see things where we could have done something better, that we just take that as like, oh, cool, there's a good lesson. Next time I've now got this wisdom. So we're always kind to ourselves and treat every thought about ourselves as something that just helps us feel better. And Thorn, I hope that when you had meditation in your life last time, that it was helpful for the tragic loss. I know for many of us it has been really helpful at times like that. And I'm really glad you're here with us now.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to share or ask a question? I hope the prompt near the end, where I said, imagine I would say something awesome and special that's just for you. I hope that when you gave yourself that question, that you found some interesting idea or feeling come to mind. Can I see a nod if anybody had that experience? Yeah.
It felt kind of personal when you said that, and it made it really, really weird feeling, because it's like you care, and that's really, really neat.
Well, I hope it's not a surprise that I care. Yeah, definitely.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how many people really do care.
Thanks. I mean, I hoped that if we sat and talked, then I would have stuff that's extra special just for you. And, yeah.
Well, it's not supposed to be just about me. We got a whole bunch of other people here trying to...
Exactly. But in that moment, I hope you did something also extra special just for you.
Yeah.
Phantoms? Is that a wave? No, just playing with your controllers. Cool. Trianta, was it something that you'd like to share that you thought of in that moment?
I'm just here feeling the vibe in your aura, and I think you're really good at what you do because you've just got such a nice energy that makes it feel like a safe place. And it's not very common that I get to feel that. So I think you're just an overall good guide.
Thank you so much. Do you know, during the session, I was actually thinking, I've been doing this for so long, and there's times in my life like those festivals, and there was a city I lived in where we did these every day, and the group grew and grew and grew. And then here in VR, like last week, not everyone could fit in the temple, and then this week there's seven of us. And I was thinking, like, what could I do to make this more awesome for people? Like, I want this to be a community that keeps growing until the whole world's enlightened. Am I doing something wrong? And then for you to say that this was really good and that you liked it, I think I just really needed to hear that right now. So
you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Only the truth. I like some of these things because just feel good atmosphere.
Excellent.
Everybody needs a little bit of that, and you're sharing all of that with us, and in turn, I'm going to share that with everybody else, like you want.
And the world's a better place.
Very, very, very valuable.
Thanks. I'm glad I asked. Oh, I just noticed Marliese is on the live chat. She says, hi, everyone. For all of you out on the live chat, if you feel like sharing, please write in. I'd love to share that your presence is here with everybody else too. So Thorn, I've said this to everyone before, but I like to say it often, and also for you. So these sessions, they're for you. I hope that you come away feeling more at peace every week, that you have more skills for different moments through your day, that you are able to imagine and practice the best version of you, and that you just feel better and better throughout life because of these sessions. I also want them to be a community where we make friends who care about self-transformation and world transformation, and that we keep encouraging and helping and supporting each other. So yeah, I want to say that, like, this community and caring about each other is important. But also the classes are for you. You know, if you had a tragic loss and you're like, hey, how do I use meditation to help with that? Or if you've got something going on in your life, I want you to ask. I want to make these teachings applied as awesomely as possible for you. So please come in. I don't know, maybe in school you had someone who was always like asking questions or like directing the way the class went. I want every one of you to be that. I want you to come in and be selfish and make it awesome for you. Because if I'm like, the teachings are hitting the metal with your hard questions, that's great. That's when the other people will hear it being applied the best possibly, and it will be as good for everyone. If I just keep it general, I have to kind of guess at what would be helpful for everyone. But when you make it awesome for you, you make it awesome for everybody. So please come in and ask specific questions, hard questions. I make big claims. I want you to find unshakable tranquility forever and infinite bliss and enlightenment. Ask challenging questions. Like, take me up on that offer and let's make it happen. Wherever you don't see how that works, push it. I want you to explore it, because I say these things like practically. You meditate on unshakable peace every day for a month, you'll have unshakable peace for a few years. And if you keep being a brain trainer and fill yourself up with all kinds of awesome, it'll just overflow and solve pretty much all of your problems and get you into a place where you'll be hitting new levels of awesome in your life. That's just what I want for every one of us. So for us to get there, I want you to ask, for you to drive that process. These sessions are for you. Saying that, Sigma, I wanted to respond to what you were saying. I love how after the meditations, you remind us how it took you into that place of peace, or you got to feel that peace. And then meditating during the week, you're kind of like, oh, what's the point of this? And it reminded you, hey, I let things settle, and then I tap back into that peace. So yeah, I hope that whenever you think of meditation, you remember that, wow, there are these really good feelings, and I just make the space to go back into those really good feelings. I could give a bunch more ways that meditation can benefit us, and the ways that we can guide it to get different outcomes. But if that's what's really standing out for you right now, and that's going to be something that gives you 5 minutes of peace every day, do it. And last week I gave you the challenge to do a meditation during the week. So to hear that you did it this week, I'm super proud of you. I'm going to give you the challenge for 2 meditations this week.
Definitely, I'll take that challenge. It's really nice.
Oh.
Finally take the step and do it for myself for the first time. I couldn't remember all the points, so it was nice to just catch the last part of this one. And oh yeah, that was something else you said about it. Trying to remember all the things that you've taught about it. It was a little bit hard doing it myself for the first time. I got to rewatch some of the streams and that.
That's a really interesting point. When you're watching guided meditation or listening, yes, it can be good to just like swim in all this positivity. But when you're guiding a meditation for yourself, it's generally actually better to pick just one part of it. So to do a peaceful meditation, or to do a breathing meditation where I'm just becoming single-pointed concentration, or do a kindness meditation and all of your concentration is just on feeling kindness and caring. So yeah, I just said 3 different kinds. But yeah, if you pick giving myself that time to just feel that stillness and that peace and feel myself. You described it a few weeks ago as like breaking through that wall, just getting back into that peaceful place. I would suggest, don't think about all the things I'm teaching. They're just like growing in your brain. That's seeds we're planting. When you're meditating, just go into that peaceful place. That's all you got to do for now. And when you're doing...
What happened? I did like the body scan and then focus breathing and trying to stop all the thoughts happening and just be there with my mind. That's pretty much what happened.
Perfect. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about all the things I was teaching. Just get really good at that. I just love this bliss that I can do, and I'm going to get better and better at this bliss.
Yeah, cultivating the good feelings. I remember that part, cultivating the good feelings, and the clouds in the mind, just like trying to make my mind like the clear sky, and the thoughts were the clouds that was like pushing away.
Now, Thorn, I see you nodding. So maybe you saw a glimpse that in the classes here we do many different styles of meditation, and I teach things from mindfulness, learning to be still and learning to watch our mind, learning to practice new things, kindness meditation. We sometimes do philosophies that can be really helpful with accepting reality and engaging with reality or dealing with loss. There's lots of stuff we do, and definitely would love people to take away some of the practices. Ultimately, I'd want us all to be brain ninjas and have some meditations each day and some awesomeness practices each day. So I'm going to put out lots of different stuff for people to try. But as Sigma just pointed out, like if you're busy, pick the one that seems good for you and make that the one you practice. And then when you come here, you get better at that. And then all the other ones, they're like seeds being sown in your mind. They're ready for next season. Hey, cool. Now I'm going to add the fruit of laughter meditation. And now I'm going to add the fruit of kindness meditation. But the things you practice during the week, do the ones that really catch you, the ones that stand out to you. And so with Sigma, like tapping into that peace has been what stood out to me. After the sessions, he always says that. But if for you, watching your breath and noticing what your consciousness does every second, if that stands out for you, awesome. Make that the thing that you practice during the week. If you want to be a brain ninja and you do some breathing meditation and some body scan relaxations and some kindness, and you visualize some things you want to practice and you make them awesome for the month, and the next month you make some new stuff. If you want to go full power brain ninja, awesome too. I just want to encourage you that whichever practices here feel good, give them the attention and grow them. And then when you're ready for more or ready to try something different, we've got lots of different options here. Yeah. Sigma, did that sound good?
Yeah, definitely. I think at the time I was trying to do all the different things. I was trying to remember all the points, but like you're saying, you just need to focus on a couple, like the body scan and the breathing, or the body scan and the feeling great. And now you mentioned the loved one and the caring one.
Yeah, I would leave that.
Have to all be together.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the time I was trying to think of all of it as one thing and try to put it all together, but it was too much. But it did come down to the two fundamental things, so it did work out great in the end.
And if you were doing this deep peace meditation and after a few weeks you'd got up to doing it, 3 or 4 days a week, and you got really good at it, and a few weeks in, you'd be like, wow, I'm like blissing out every time I do this. Then you might be ready to be like, oh yeah, I could definitely see now I'm going to put in some watching my mind meditation. Or now I feel so stable and solid into getting into that bliss. I'm going to mix in some loving kindness meditation. Just add it in when it feels ready. Like that's what I'd recommend. Can I see a wave from the people here who does some meditation outside of the class? Sigma, you should wave. You did it this week. Hey, cool. About half of us. Great. Excellent. So whatever your practices are, I hope that some of the perspectives that we practice here help enrich your practice. And I hope that we take you into feelings and states of mind that are awesome, and that they'll happen in your meditations more and more. Zarin is on the live chat, and they just sent us an emoji that my computer can't handle. So I'm sending you all a big blank square. Good to have you here, Zarin. Do I have any funny emojis? Okay, that wasn't as funny as I was hoping. But yeah. Cool. I really wonder who designs these effects. They're so great. All right. anyone who's out on the live stream or watching this video, please come and join us in VR. It's so good. Zarwin sent a wave to all of us. So, you mean a wave like a hand waving, or a wave like surfing the waves of blissful consciousness? All right, everybody. People out there on the live stream. People here. Oh, Sigma.
Hello.
Sigma's waving to you, Zarwin, like a massive epic wave. Let me... So's Thorn. There we go.
You can join on desktop or VR.
Well, Zarwin actually often comes here in VR, but then they're also on the live stream a lot as well. It's actually great to have people joining in multiple ways. Yeah. All right. Next, I would love to hear if anyone else has any other questions or situations in life where you're like, how would you apply meditation, brain training? Or maybe there's something that you read or an idea that you've heard about recently that you think's great and you want to share.
So I do talk quite a bit about how body sensations can be distracting during a meditation session. And one of the things that I experienced while we were meditating about, trying to let go of distractions and everything else, you get those little itches on your face, like on your nose, on your cheek. One of the things that I thought of was like taking it like a piece of paper and wadding it up and then just throwing it away, and it just the sensation of it kind of just slowly drifting off, unaffected by gravity, just off into the distance where it was far away from the center of my sense.
Nice. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, there was a moment in the meditation where I said, watch how you're learning how to guide your consciousness. This is now a tool you all have in your mental toolbox. If there's ever a physical sensation, you could imagine wrapping it up and throwing it away. It also works not just for physical sensations. You could take an emotion or a thought or even the sound of something and wrap it up and just... In general, I focus on learning single-pointed attention. So as quickly as you can, you become 100% concentrated on feeling your breath. I think ultimately being able to just instantly let go of things and shifting your consciousness in your day-to-day life, if you could just let go of the stuff that doesn't help and instantly be the thing you want to be, I think, from what I've seen, is the most empowering state. But we don't always have that. And so sometimes having other things up our sleeve can be awesome. So whether that's taking something and wrapping it up in a ball of paper and throwing it away, or whether that's imagining that you dive into a lake of perfect stillness, or you smash through a wall into a field of bliss, having these other mental tools is awesome. So, Geeknificent, was that something you'd heard before, or was that just something that happened in this meditation and you found it really helpful?
There's something that happened in this meditation. Because, before I was talking about like kind of being able to see the nerve cells and just kind of make them calm down, right? But this time I experienced just kind of like simultaneously wadding up all those physical sensations, and so it wasn't just one at a time, it was just like all of them being wadded up and just drifting off all at once.
Nice. Yeah, as I was saying, having different mental tools in your toolkit, different ways of changing how you feel or shifting how you experience things. It's great. And if you think of yourself as a brain artist or a brain engineer, you can then be so much better at picking up these tools. You know, we're in meditation class now. Gignificent just described, hey, here's a way to make yourself feel at peace. But if you think of yourself as a brain artist, you could be watching a movie and something one of the characters does. You'd be like, whoa, all right, I'll remember that when I need to. And then boom, you've got a way to make yourself feel big, or you've got a way to make yourself feel at peace. Or you may pick up good mental tools from or any of the most unlikely places. If your mind is watching for it, you'll find attitudes and ways of doing mental gymnastics that can be helpful. And my hope is that you get to a point where anything and everything that happens in your life, your whole mind is just trained that, I say brain ninja sometimes. I want you to be like able to just dodge any arrow or roll through any obstacle. Just feel powerful and strong anywhere and everywhere. So if there's anyone here who has been practicing single-pointed meditation, which I've said is one of my favorite, or I think most beneficial forms of meditation. So Geeknificent, I'd say if you're doing breathing meditation, set the intention that you're going to go purely into the breath. So if you start to feel something else, you just put all of your attention into feeling the breath. And you just keep doing that until that's taken over. And if you start hearing some noise, you put all your attention into hearing the breath. Or any kind of sensation that's not the breath just brings you more completely into the breath. I think everyone at some point should practice single-pointed breathing meditation. Everything you do is just coming into the breath. You're just letting go of everything by just having the breath as your focus. I'm curious, when I mention single-pointed breathing meditation, and that I think it's one of the most enlightening practices, how does that sound to you guys? Why do you think that I say that? And Amasa and Zara are in. I'd also love to hear why you think so. Magnificent.
So the the single point focus, I think, plays a little bit into something that we've talked about in the previous session, where if you can bring your mind to that single point focus, then from there you have the capability to do anything with your mindset at that point. And that builds on the concept that I've introduced earlier about the concept of nothing, right? So the concept is that everything came from nothing, and everything may yet return to nothing, but even nothing is something. So that single point focus is your 0 point, your nothing point, your center point. So from there, it's a blank canvas that you can do anything with.
Yeah, well said. Thank you. Can I see with a wave? Did that make perfect sense to people? Or did it sound, yeah, we've got a thumbs up and a nod. The reason I ask is because if you haven't experienced why that single point is a point of freedom, it might sound abstract. But let me explain it, because not everybody nodded. So let's just say somebody had done something that made you angry. And perhaps you've been meditating on peace and you've learned to be more chill. So you'll be less angry. It's great. Or someone's done something that made you angry and you've learned some good philosophies. You know, I've practiced acceptance. People are doing their best. And so you remember those philosophies and it calms you down. You then can choose to talk with kindness. So you hope that these different practices help you in the face of someone making you angry. But let's compare that to this practice of just coming into perfect stillness. I just can let go of everything. Someone makes me angry, boom, I breathe, I'm perfect peace. And now what do I do? And you could think about any hard situation in life that's happening. I breathe, I'm perfect peace. Now what do I do? So practicing this, just coming into perfect peace, my whole consciousness can just be the stillness of the breathing. It's like a superpower for everywhere. So Geeknificent was saying this, like this nothingness, this 0 point, this blank canvas. Being able to get into that point of power and freedom as quickly and as often as possible is awesome. So every moment that we're practicing just breathing, you're practicing being in that stillness. And your mind does something, your body feels something, you come back to this stillness. And you've just learned how to let go of something faster and better. And the more you just practice that single pointed stillness, the more that just becomes something that's available to you faster, or even just part of you all the time. I'm just always connected to this stillness and power. Geeknificent, something you were saying about things coming and going reminded me of a time I spent with a monk. He was giving a class about attachment. And in the Buddhist psychology approach, attachment can be a very insightful category when you see that you're like attached to something being a certain way, or you're holding on to some reaction to something. And the monk said that anytime an attachment arises, anytime some attachment starts in the universe, at some point, the attachment will also finish. And the way he described it was, the moment the attachment arises in the universe, the end of the attachment also arises. It's a little bit of mental gymnastics, but I was just like, whoa, that's so true. And whenever I noticed myself wanting something, craving something, expecting something to be a certain way, my brain just had this mental trick to just be like, oh, I'm going to be over that at some point. I'll be over it right now. So it like had this short circuit to just release attachments instantly. So, and the monk, he said that comes into it, the attachment arises, the end of attachment arises. That's all I need to say. And somehow that just stuck in my mind and helped me for so long. So that's all I'm going to say about that for now. I hope that's another mental tool in your toolkit. Let me just check the time.
Anyone else hear a heartbeat right now?
I cannot hear a heartbeat.
I turned into a pretzel and suddenly I could hear this avatar as a heartbeat.
Oh.
That was very strange.
Oh, wow. And it wasn't your heartbeat. It was something about your avatar.
No. Yeah. It literally has a heartbeat. Just found that out.
Cool. There's so many beautiful little surprises in these VR worlds. So much interactive art that we're only just discovering. I love it.
Love what you said about the end appears with the beginning. That's so profound. That's gonna stick with me forever, definitely.
Awesome.
Speaking of art,
And let me just turn the camera. Hey everyone, if you're on a PC and you look outside the window, you will see that Gignificent has just put a layer onto this world, and it makes the whole sky beautiful. I really want to do some avatar building and creation with you sometime. So many things I would love to create. Pardon?
of course.
This week is great for me. I'm on vacation. If you're up for it.
I suppose I could help out here and there, but I do work 45 hours a week, unfortunately.
Let's talk out of class. Phantom Ghost, are you okay?
I twitched my shoulder.
I'm sorry, what's going on?
Just twitched his shoulder.
You need to get off and tend to your shoulder.
Here's something that is maybe contrary to what some meditation and spiritual teachers say, is that for a long time I was into alternative medicines, and they pitch themselves as being like more profound and more nurturing and more healing. But I found that going to physiotherapists or like learning from the official registered professionals, the ones that are evidence-based, double-blind experiments, and they confirm that what they're telling you works for the most number of people, is actually great. So I hope you have some exercises or some stretches or something that is good for your shoulder. And if it's an ongoing thing, I hope you know a good physical therapist or someone who can help in the most effective way possible.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Like I said, I wanted this session to be really driven by you. We've got time for 1 or 2 more questions or topics before our closing meditation. Dig in, find an awesome question and ask it. Find a question that, are you brave enough to ask it? Just ask it. For there maybe something you want to ask about that it's a little bit vulnerable. You have to share something hard that's been going on for you. Please ask it. Let's make this next little time something awesome for all of us. So actually, as I'm looking at all of you, I remembered how Trianta said that this is a very welcoming, safe environment. And I just want to encourage everyone to look around and appreciate each other here. I'm glad that the way I guide the class feels welcoming and inviting. But most importantly, I want us to have a community that feels welcoming and inviting and encouraging. So let's all just take a moment to feel that with each other. And it really means a lot to me, those of you who keep coming regularly. So I hope that if you've only come sometimes, that you'd like to keep coming. And in some movements they describe the weekly activity as central to spiritual life, and I don't want to put that out there. I really believe in honesty and transparency, but I would hope that positive community is something that you see the value in, and so that you want to come even when things are busy, as some kind of investment in the community, not just in yourself, and to try and encourage other people from the community to also keep coming, so that we have this space that grows in richness, that grows in how empowering and enlightening it is for each other. The more often you meditate, the more amazing your meditations become. And so as a community, the more we practice enlightening and empowering each other, the better that will be for the regulars and also for the new people who come and just get to bask in the stories of wow, I'm noticing myself just more calm in all the hard times now. Or, this week I was doing laughter bliss meditation all week and I felt blissful. The more of these experiences we see that people can achieve with their consciousness, the better it is for all of us, for the regulars and for the people popping in. So, for those of you who've been a lot, I want you to know it means a lot to me, because this vision of a community that is awesome for each other means a lot to me. So thank you for being part of that. Thumbs up from
What
Geeknificent.
set you on this path of just spreading enlightenment? I'm curious on how you got here.
I love this question. So I was an angry, sad teenager. I was teased a lot. Somehow I was thinking I was kind of bad at most things. I was uncoordinated and nerdy and unlovable and hate-filled. And it felt shit. And I know a lot of teenagers are struggling. I don't pretend to think that that was like uniquely bad, but it was terrible. And then there was some tragedies around. I don't need to go into the tragedies, but I was like, how on earth did we get to this state of mind? How did I get to this state of mind? How did they get to this state of mind? And I kind of looked, instead of being in my trash, for the first time, I sort of was like, whoa. I looked at the state of consciousness I was in. Instead of being in it, I looked at it. And I was like, that's not right. And then I looked across society. And I was like, there's so much needless suffering and fighting. How on earth did humanity get ourselves here? We must be missing something. We must be doing something wrong. So I didn't have the answer to how to make it better, but suddenly by just like looking at it objectively, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. And I made this dedication to my brain. I was like, look, brain, if you tell me how I'm meant to be, I'm going to do it. And then I just had this bigger feeling. I just had this tragedy, so it was intense. And so I kind of reached out to the universe and I was like, hey, show me how the world's meant to be, and I'm going to make it happen. And I felt this little glow inside, and then it just faded, and I was kind of just left just with this family tragedy that had just happened. But I suddenly had this different state of mind, like I didn't want to do this negativity anymore. And soon after, one of my teachers pulled me aside and said, hey, here's a book about mindfulness. I think it'll be helpful. And I also, I'm skipping over a lot of the details, so at some point I could give you the bigger story. But I had this vision just hit me, where I saw the human mind and all the things we were practicing and all the influences that had happened to us, the good and the bad, and how the brain's just kind of bubbling all this stuff, good stuff, bad stuff, blah, 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 blah. And you might spread some positivity to someone else, and then that bubbles in their brain, or you might vomit some hatred onto somebody, and then that's bubbling in their brain. And so I saw all our brains are just like these churning things of the positive and the negative that we've got, and we're just sort of all affecting each other. And this idea of like stepping out of just bubbling with whatever and choosing what we want just seemed so important. And then in this vision, I actually saw this bubble of pure awesomeness come in, and it just, any negative bubbles that it hit just instantly transformed into ease, kindness, positivity, skillfulness. I spent a long time telling myself I was uncoordinated. And so suddenly I was like, oh, wow, I could just imagine being good at my body. And luckily for me, I was as good at math, so I didn't tell myself I was stupid. But I'm sure there are people who have the same thing. They tell themselves their brain gets confused easily. But if they were to tell themselves, hey, I can think clearly and concentrate clearly, they will think so much more clearly and listen so much more clearly. So I saw this awesomeness bubble come in and just transform the human brain. And then I saw it like bubble across all the brains, and the world just being filled with awesomeness. And then I came out of this daydream and I was like, I have to find out what that bubble was. And a few days later, I was walking past a bookshelf and this book jumped out at me. It was written down the side, The Official Guide to Success. And the blurb said, hey, everything about you has come from influences, whether it's stuff people said to you or stuff that you've just continued to say to yourself. So what you keep telling yourself, you can actually take control of this process and be your own designer instead of just being the slave to these influences. And I was just so excited, like this was describing the vision that I had seen. And so throughout the whole book, he just continually reiterated, you want to feel better with people? Say to yourself every day, I feel good around people. I have a good time with people. If you want to feel relaxed, imagine every day, I can really relax. I can relax really well. I can feel great. And yeah, it was like 100 little mini chapters. He was like, you want to be awesome in this way? Practice this. You want to be awesome in this way? Practice this. So I was reading this book, not just as an awesome handbook for life, but as like a key to the whole world becoming enlightened. Wow, if we train ourselves to feel amazing, to be amazing, to see a world that's full of love, this is what we'll do. And then combine that with mindfulness meditation to learn to watch really closely what you're telling yourself and being able to just drop the not helpful brain programs was like a superpower. So over the next 3 months, I like radically transformed myself and got rid of most of the trash and made loads of positive changes. And I still love to continue improving and tweaking myself, but it was epic like how fast it changed me. And I want everyone in the world to have this enlightenment. And I envisage a world where everybody is supporting each other to be as creative and as awesome as possible, where we love to just help each other shine. And that's the world I want. So that's why I do it.
That's a big you've been set on here. A lot of things. It's really sad that for you to change to this better, improved version of you, that some bad stuff had to happen. But I think that's a really good cure for people in whatever cruel way it is. That story is really, really nice. I've been some of those things. How you have to tell yourself things to. I figured that out by myself in some weird way. But I'm just gonna do better in all sorts of ways. Mm-hmm. And magically, I've been doing better. It's really, really strange.
I'm so happy to hear that you figured that out. And
really weird effect. Yeah.
Now you say it's weird, but it's actually wild to me that like, hey, our brain does what we practice. Well, duh. Like, once I saw that that's how it worked, I was like, that seems to me so, like, the fact that we don't all know that means like we're really missing something. I want everyone in the world to know what you practice, the way you envisage doing stuff, that's going to be how you do it. So I'm so glad you had that realization, and I'm sure there are ways you've applied that I haven't, and I'm sure there are ways I've applied it that you haven't. So I hope we help each other get better and better at applying that. Like, I took food that I thought was disgusting and just found the delicious flavors in it. And now I love rock melon and I can enjoy fruit salad. And I did the same thing with heavy metal and opera. And then the floodgates opened in my brain, and then all kinds of music just suddenly became much more beautiful. And so the way that we can just reprogram our brain and make ourselves and life so much better, this is what I'm so excited about. It's so accessible if we just give it the attention and the conversation and the imagination that it deserves. Are there some ways that you would like to share that you found you can talk to yourself differently and get different results?
A lot of it is just even if I'm not feeling too great, and there are some not very voices in my head that tell me to do very nice things, I tell myself that wouldn't be me being better, and I have this range of being a continuously better person. That way, I would be better at talking and acting, conversation and being involved and being careful with my body and myself.
Hey, is it just me, or is Trianta's mic pretty choppy, going on and off?
I may
It's
be having
understandable.
problems. Hold on.
I think it's you.
You think it's me? You can hear him clearly?
Yeah, it sounds perfect to me. Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe it's my internet.
No, actually, there's is chopping for me too.
It's fine for me.
Let me turn my face fan off so maybe you can hear me better.
I caught most of it.
What would we miss?
I loved what you were describing it. You were also saying that you were noticing stuff you were thinking and you were able to say, hey, is that helpful or not? So you've been doing mindfulness as well as then intentionally creating the stuff that helps. And I always describe it because, in Buddhist practices, and they'll talk about mindfulness. And then there are other schools that talk about positive thinking. But I actually think when they're combined, they're like two pillars that are just so much more awesome together. Mindfulness helps people like not do some of the ridiculous things that people do with positive thinking, and positive thinking makes mindfulness more fun and more empowering. So the fact that you've developed that together, I don't know, that's hope inspiring within me. So thanks for sharing your story. That's great. I also really loved what you just said. You notice an attitude and you're like, will that help me? And then you get to pick the attitudes that help you. That's awesome. I wish everyone did that.
I wish how is great for people who have it before. But as soon as you get the sort of right idea in there, it's something you can do consciously. And helping my through some. He's been having a troubled life, and I tell him what he should be thinking, like zone out some of that because it's not. And if you want to, you just need to continue to tell yourself as you wake up. And
they're really lucky to have you. It's such precious help.
Effect because his life has been getting better and better, and I have. I've just been an emotional support guy.
I wish everybody had one of you. You asked why I do these sessions. That's definitely part of what's driving me. I want everyone in the world to be helping each other be more mindful and awesome. I've been practicing for years, and times where I was alone doing it awesomely, but then other times alone doesn't feel so good, and having someone to remind you is just great. So, yeah, let's all be there for each other.
Good mix.
Hey, Zara Rin just said, thanks for sharing my story. So awesome you had become Thanos and become like reality can be whatever I want. Interesting character comparison. Sure, I'll take that.
I guess half of us are disappearing.
Well, the negative half of each of us. Yeah, that'd be great if that disappeared. And left just the awesome part of each of us. Yeah, if I could click my fingers and make that happen, I probably would. All right, Otherwise, thanks for joining us here in the temple. We had a meditation which was mostly about inner peace and just watching our mind become calmer. And then we've had a discussion about different ways you can use meditation and practicing peace in your life. And we're going to be having our closing meditation in just a minute. What is the time? Yep, it's time for our closing meditation. So, any quick questions or requests for a theme, style, or emotion that you'd like in this closing meditation? All right, well, let's just see where it takes us then. All right, well, let's begin the meditation. I want everyone to put your hands up in the air. Stretch them up high. I'm doing this because moving your body can actually be a really nice invitation into meditation. Open up your fingers and wiggle them around. Stretch them out. Stretch your thumbs out. Feel into your shoulder blades and roll them back and forward and up and down. Feel how your shoulder changes as you turn the hands. Roll the little fingers around and the thumbs out. Turn the hands the other way. Pull the shoulder blades back and then let them rest down. Feel the muscles around the shoulders and around the back. I've just closed my eyes because I feel into my body. Take a deep breath and stretch your spine up. Let your mind scan through your shoulders. Feel one shoulder very closely. Feel how everything's aligned. And then feel the other. Wow, mine just clicked a little bit. Sometimes just by bringing your attention in, your muscles can adjust themselves. Or maybe you'll just notice some little adjustment you could make to make your shoulders feel more at peace or more easeful. Let's let our right elbow just relax down. Let the right shoulder just kind of hang. And then let your head gently drift over to the left-hand side. Just let the head hang to the left. It makes your right neck stretch a little. Makes your right shoulder stretch a little. And mindfully exploring what happens if you let your head roll forward a little bit. And just carefully, feeling carefully, you can let your head roll all the way down so your chin will come down. And some of you will be feeling a stretch in your back along the spine as your head drops down. And then your head rolls over to the left-hand side. Your head rolls to the right-hand side. And you feel the stretch in the left neck. You let your left elbow drop a little more. You feel the stretch in your left shoulder. And just gently rock the head back and forward just a little bit. Just feeling into the left shoulder. Enjoying whatever nice feelings you can find. And then our head will just float back up to the center as you take a deep breath. And you might notice that stretch in the neck and the shoulders has also made your face feel relaxed. Or maybe just the suggestion of your face relaxing. You might notice the nice feelings in your jaw and in your eyes. Maybe as you take a deep breath, you might Feel the muscles around your temple and forehead relaxing. Maybe you could even imagine your brain relaxing. You could imagine that relaxation as a wave going down through the brain into the back of your brain, and this feeling of peace going down through your spine. And as it goes down through your spine, it flows out through the nerves, through into your shoulders and your arms. And you feel it into a deep breath into your chest. You're feeling your spine, this wave of peace going down through the spine. All the muscles in your core are becoming tranquility and sitting in perfect alignment. You take a deep breath and feel your posture just feeling so good. Feeling your spine again, that wave of peace just going down through into your lower spine. The nerves that go through your hips and through your legs, through your feet. You feel your whole body at peace as you take some deep, gentle breaths. When I take really deep breaths, I feel the expansion of my lungs, massaging my shoulders from the inside. I also feel the muscles around my chest, and I can hear my heartbeat. And I just invite you to notice the sensations you have as you take really deep breaths. And then feel your whole body as we'll take 3 deep breaths to let your whole body go deeper into meditation. Whole body aligning, resting. Feeling at ease. And next we'll feel the emotional body in the body. So as you take a few deep breaths, any feelings around your heart or your chest, just let them relax. Tranquility, lightheartedness, ease. And then notice any feelings around your mouth. Maybe it's a smile, maybe it's tranquility, or a warm, joyful caring. Some people find nice sensations or feelings in their fingers. Or in their toes. And then imagine your whole body feeling good, feeling at ease, feeling comfort. And as you keep taking deep, soothing breaths, imagine your whole emotional self becoming comfort and relief. Every time you breathe out, you're becoming deeper relief, deeper ease. And your state of consciousness is becoming more easeful, more aware. This feeling of being the blank slate, this point of pure freedom, perfect tranquility that you can immerse yourself in at any moment. Some people think of it as practicing the foundation of your consciousness. Some people think of it as reconnecting to infinite peace that's always inside us. And I'll be quiet for a while. You can guide your own meditation. What kind of peace do you want to practice? You're going to feel it more in your feelings, in your body, in your state of mind. Just let yourself enjoy more and more beautiful experiences. continue to guide your meditation, but just change gear in your breath. Make it a little bit stronger and brighter. And then let your breathing feel more invigorating. Each breath you take, enjoying the peace that you made. Enjoying the smiles that you made. Maybe you noticed some changes in your mind, some insights or some transformations. But even if you didn't, just let yourself enjoy and know that you practiced more peace, and it will be more part of you. You've made your life nicer. You made yourself be able to move through anything better. Just take a moment to appreciate the gift that you gave yourself. You gave yourself this time, and it's so precious. The positive impacts from this session will keep growing and growing forever. And as you notice this potential, this peace inside of you, the part of you that is kind, is good, is wise, just cherish that part of you. And you might like to give yourself a little dedication. I'm choosing that I'll do 2 meditations this week. Or I'm choosing that I'll give myself blissful breaths each day. Or I'm choosing to be more excited about my consciousness. Or I'm choosing 3 times a day to practice that I feel at peace and relieved around everybody. I am tranquility. I love feeling good around people. Whatever it is that you choose, just really repeat that dedication to yourself. Feel it and strengthen it. And then take a moment to appreciate everybody here. We shared this positive time together. Imagine all the different nice feelings, transformations that everyone has created for themselves. And when you're ready, I invite you to give yourself a big smile and take an energizing, smiling breath to open your eyes. All right, so thank you everyone. It's been a pleasure. I know I'm feeling wonderful. I hope you are also. And I'm going to go now, but I invite you all to stay and try to practice positive conversation. In some cultures they call it right speech. Try to practice your words being really helpful for you and for each other. And enjoy the awesomeness of each other. And I'll hopefully see you this time next week. Thank you, everyone.